What up, everybody? I'm back. It's cold. It's been turned off cold in Mississippi. North Mississippi is where I'm at. Trying to wipe something off my camera there. But anyway, I got some stuff in the mail for the go-kart project. A bunch of parts. So I'm gonna go through unboxing these and I'll show you what we got, and then I'm gonna go work on it a little bit. So I'll get this stuff unpackaged and we'll see what all we got here. That's what we got. I'll go through it here in just a second. Show y'all how prepared I am. I had to open all that with a screwdriver. Normally I keep a pocket knife on me in the winter. I used to keep one on me all the time, but in the summer I wear gym shorts a lot, and I've lost a lot of good pocket knives because they slide out of a gym short pocket so easy, and that's what I like to wear in the summer. So I don't ever carry one in the summer anymore, but I'm gonna have to get me one for my jeans. I can carry one without losing it, so I need to get on that. Like I said, it just turned cold here in North Mississippi, so I gotta get prepared. But anyway, we'll go through this stuff here. Just basic stuff. That's the reason I like working on go-karts, is because everything's so cheap. Like, we'll start with the exhaust header here. $18 for the cheapest exhaust header for a little side shaft engine. Cheapest exhaust headers for a, say, a LS engine, that's $300, $400, where this is $20. So that's just a prime example of why working on go-karts is fun. It's a poor man's hot rod. Yeah, they're not super blazing fast, but then again, when you're running 50 miles an hour 1 inch off the ground, it feels super fast. So they're fun and they're cheap. Anyway, got this motor plate here. It's got the slots already drilled and slotted to fit a 420 block like the two that I have. And on my first project I did not buy this. I did it the hard way. I went to the hardware store and got a thick piece of steel and cut the holes myself and all that, but it's just not worth it. I forget what this thing costs. I want to say about 35 bucks, which still seemed a little high to me, but when you start trying to drill through this steel and fabricate it, oh, it's worth it. You'll break drill bits and burn drill bits up and dull them and waste a lot of your time if you don't have the correct tools, when you can just buy this for 35 bucks and it's already made exactly how it needs to be. All I got to do is weld it on in the right place. And then most of this is just a stage one kit that I pieced together myself on eBay, because one that's already pieced together was like $130-ish. I think I pieced this one together for around $88. Essentially, you just got what on a car would be a cold air intake, just a little cone, and you got the appropriate adapter for it and hardware to put it on, and gaskets that go with it, and a sticker. Well, I like stickers, put them on the toolbox. Like I said, we got the header, the exhaust with the hardware for it, gasket for it. Got 2 spark plugs. I've never used these. They look a little funky on the end, but they're called racing spark plugs. And the only reason I got those is because the kit that I looked at that was already put together for a stage one, that's the spark plug they sold with it. So I just went and found them cheaper separate. I bought 2 of them. I think they were like $7 a piece. The more you bought of them, the cheaper they get, so I just bought 2. And of course we got 2 bigger jets, because when you increase the intake airflow and the exhaust airflow, you're gonna have to increase the fuel. So I just went and bought the 2 jets separate that they said you needed. They come with a sticker, and then just a master gasket kit. It's got the side cover. It's got every gasket and seal on it, really, which I'll only be using the head gasket and the side cover. Probably may use the valve cover gasket, may not. But just got it all there, and that's all we should need to be riding. I bought 2 40 series belts for it. All I got to do now is put it back together and get it mounted on the go-kart in the correct place, and get throttle cables hooked up and brakes and all that good stuff. I'm gonna actually, the first time I built the other go-kart, my first one, I didn't use the battery. Both engines I have a starter on them, and you can have electric start, and I didn't do that on the first go around, mainly because I was trying to save weight, because we were really getting competitive racing each other. But it's just so much simpler. I'm gonna integrate a battery on this one somewhere. I don't know where, but it's gonna have a small battery on it that'll hook up to the starter, and I'll have electric start this time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Gonna go to the shop and start working on this thing. I'll put the rod and piston back in and torque that down. Start putting the side cover on and start putting the head back on it and get everything to spec. And still gonna do a compression test to test all my theories I talked about. That's in the video before this one. If you hadn't watched it, feel free to go watch it, and I'll get back with y'all. What's up, everybody? Here at Pepaw's shop, putting in a little work on the Honda GX390. I'll show y'all what I got done. Here's my brother's big old conversion van. That thing's pretty sweet. It's good for getting a lot of people in and having fun. Heat rolling over there in here. But I just put the bottom end together, got the piston slid in and the rod cap on the piston, got that torqued to spec, did a lot of cleaning, a lot of assembly lube, got the lifters put in, and then the camshaft, and then got the side cover put on and torqued to spec, and then got the head on and torqued to spec, and that's kind of my stopping place. I still gotta put the push rods in, rocker arms on, set the valve lash and all that, put our stage 1 little performance kit on. I gotta get some engine oil to put in it. It's got a lot of zinc in it. That's what my buddy recommended that works on small engines, and I don't have any, so that's why I'm at a stopping point. Plus I gotta go watch my boy get married. Shout out Brent. Yeah, he's going to get married. Got to be there in about an hour and a half, so I'm about to clean up and get myself cleaned up, and we'll get back on it. I may come back out here after the wedding, start fooling with it. I'll have to stop and get me some oil somewhere so we can turn this thing over. Still want to check the compression with no rocker arms on. That way we'll know how much it really has. And then we'll check compression with the rocker arms set to spec to see how much it really had to begin with, and we'll go from there. May hear it fire up soon. We'll get back with you. What up, y'all? Back out here on the Honda GX390. Didn't get to come back out here last night. We stayed at the wedding reception for a while, and just checking if it had any play. It has none. On the crankshaft, about to fill this thing up with oil. Got some Lucas created for ATV, UTV, air-cooled engines. That should help it cool. This is not a liquid-cooled engine, it's just air-cooled, so it's supposed to run lower temperatures with that. Gonna fill it up with oil and start probably turning it over. I'll get the starter back on and see if this thing's really got compression with the rocker arms off while the valves are shut. So I'll do that and I'll get back with you. Alright, y'all, the big moment of truth. I got oil in it, got everything put back on it that it needs to turn over, put the side cover on it. Almost didn't tighten my drain bolts. Almost forgot to tighten them after I put oil in it, but I got them tight. Got the compression tester hooked up, and I got the jump box hooked up. I'm gonna be honest, this thing is much harder to turn by the crank, and it's much harder to pull with the rope. So I think it's gonna have compression. I'm gonna try to do this one-handed on this table while I film. So I hope it don't jump off the table, but we're gonna hit this button over here to power up the jump box. All right, we got power. Compression testers right there. I'm gonna try to get it. Okay. Not the exact reading I want. Jump box went out. Hold on just a second, y'all. Alright, so I changed my compression adapter. I had one that was about half as short as the threads of this plug in there, so I put the one in there that's got as many threads as the plug does. And we'll try it again, see if that has anything to do. And still, like, I'm turning this by the crankshaft, it feels like it's got a ton of compression. I don't know why our reading wasn't better. That's not exactly what I want to see. I still think it's got more than that. I don't know. It's like every time I hit the starter, it would jump up about 5 psi, but as it started spinning, it wasn't. You can hear all that compression. It's hard to spin. Way harder than the night I bought it. I don't know. Maybe I need to verify my compression tester's good, or maybe somehow that maybe somehow that decomp lever's still working. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know, guys. Maybe. I think I know what it might be. There's really, with the exhaust valve shut and the intake valve shut, there's really no way for it to get air in. So you may not get accurate compression reading that way either, because the exhaust valve and intake valve never open at all. So it may not be getting any air into the cylinder from anywhere, which may not be a good idea. I may be sucking my seals in doing that. I'm gonna give my buddy a ring and see what he says about it. I'll be back. Alright, just got off the phone with my buddy. Shout out Stacy, he's the small engine guru. He verified what I was thinking. The valves aren't opening enough to suck any air into the cylinder to make a compression reading. So what I need to do is put the rocker arm on the intake side and let it work, but leave the rocker arm off the exhaust side, leave it shut, and that should suck some air in there enough to make a compression reading. But he did say you risk blowing a head gasket doing what I'm doing, so just do it enough to get a compression reading and move on. So I could put it back together right now, and I know it would run because it's got so much compression you can't turn the crankshaft by hand and you can't pull the rope by hand. You have to use a starter. So anyway, I'm probably gonna throw the intake rocker arm on just to verify that, just because it'd make me feel better. So I'm gonna do that real quick. All right, y'all, got my intake valve rocker arm on. Everything's still set up. See what she says this time, if she says anything. Oh yeah, we got 120 and like 121 psi is the max this motor's supposed to have. So we know we got a good motor. Finally. I know I probably shouldn't struggle as much as I do, but I'm not perfect. I don't think any mechanic is really. They always learn, and that's what it's about. So I know I can put it back together now, and we're gonna be good to go. So get back with you. All right, y'all, there it is, basically fully ready to go. Boy, this thing's heavy, completely dressed out, but got her all put together and looking good. Just like putting some gas in it and mounting it somewhere where we can hear it run. All right, y'all, another huge moment of truth here. We're gonna see what she does. little bit. Let's try again. I do believe I have the gas on. Let it run for a couple minutes, warm up. Seems to be doing good right there. Whew. Well, she runs. Not the best though. Yet.